After being insulted by his father, the man angrily rode away from home on his bicycle. Unfortunately, after just 500 miles, the chain broke. While frustratingly trying to fix it, he looked up and saw something that shocked him. In that moment, he had a bold idea. What if he installed a car engine on a bicycle? It would dramatically increase the bicycle's speed. He immediately shared this idea with his friend, an engineer. To his disappointment, Harley responded that such a project would require metallurgy, combustion science, and substantial funding, none of which they had. But Davidson refused to give up. He dragged Harley to sneak into a theater. While beautiful women were showing off their figures on stage, the two men kept staring at the engine beneath them. Security soon spotted them and kicked them out of the theater. Fortunately, Harley, with his incredible memory, perfectly reproduced the engine design. Davidson immediately cleaned out an old warehouse to use as their factory. Without money for parts, Davidson had to secretly take components from the factory where he worked. He even bribed master craftsmen with liquor to help forge the outer casing. Unfortunately, his brother, who was a supervisor, caught him in the act. Though he gave Davidson a beating, his brother ultimately let him take the parts. After tremendous effort, the two finally built their first motorcycle engine. Davidson carefully poured in gasoline while Harley nervously turned the handle. Suddenly, the engine shook violently and belched black smoke. Just then, cousin Walter appeared. This former railway mechanic immediately spotted the problem, suggesting they change the ignition timing and replace the chain with a tractor belt. However, they had already run out of money. Seeing the motorcycle's potential, Walter decided to sell his farm and invest all his funds into the motorcycle. After 3 days of round-the-clock research by the trio, the world's first Harley motorcycle was born. Walter excitedly took it for a test ride, the rumbling sound echoing through the streets as he raced to the outskirts, thrilled by the experience. Just then, his friend Eddie suddenly appeared riding an Indian motorcycle. The largest bicycle company had also started making motorcycles. The competitive pressure drove Harley to develop new models day and night, but the carburetor consistently supplied too much fuel. While he was busy seeking solutions, he unexpectedly received a college acceptance letter. Harley's family was overjoyed. When he shared the good news with Davidson and Walter, Walter became furious. He had invested everything he owned in this project, and now their chief engineer was leaving to study. Davidson tried to convince Harley to stay. Harley felt torn, but his family's poverty ultimately led him to choose college. At that moment, he had no idea that this motorcycle would become one of the world's most legendary machines.